Howdy, we're Group 13B. My name is Savannah Pittenger.
I'm Catherine Martinez.
I'm Sonora Hayes, and we are presenting the dialectical theory.
At the end of this video, students will be able to identify what the dialectical theory is.
Students will be able to identify the differences between internal and external tensions.
After watching the video, the students will understand that relationships are always evolving and never at a standstill. Relationships are constantly evolving and growing. The dialectical theory is broken down into four main assumptions, specifically praxis, change, contradiction, and totality. These will be further discussed in the video. Praxis. Praxis is the assumption that relationships will evolve over time and are not linear or cyclical. No specific trend or reoccurrence of how the relationship will change. An example of praxis can be seen by the flag waving in the wind. You never know which direction the flag will move or where it will go. Likewise, in relationships, you never know what changes will occur since they're not linear or cyclical.
Relationships are always in motion and are never consistent. They change over time and evolve in order to stay stable. According to Julia T. Wood, how we respond to them are what we can use to understand how relationships work and how they grow and change over time. An example of change could be the evolution of a daughter and mother relationship. Throughout the relationship, as the daughter grows older, they both start to talk about different things that are appropriate for the daughter at her age. Either way, the relationship is changing over time with the way they talk to each other and how they interact with one another.
The third assumption in the dialectical theory is contradiction. And this is when both partners have essential yet opposing needs and you can't achieve both needs at the same time. So the dialectical perspective maintains that relationships are sustained on the partner's communication used to manage these ever-present contradictions. And according to encyclopedia.com, a contradiction is the dynamic interplay between unified opposites. So an example of contradiction would be a couple, basically that they have needs together and that they also have needs apart. So in order to maintain the relationship, they need to spend time together, but for their individual well-being, they need to spend time apart.
Totality. Totality is the assumption that there is an interdependence in a relationship. Both partners are equally dependent on one another. An example of totality can be understood as when your best friend has joined a new student organization on campus and will be more busy than normal, affecting how much time you get to spend with one another. To cope with your friend being gone, you'll pick up a new hobby and to keep yourself busy while your friend is gone. But at the same time, your new hobby may conflict when your friend has time to hang out with you, while you have to also make time to hang out with your friend when you're free. You both equally make sacrifices to be able to maintain a healthy, equally dependent relationship with one another.
So there are two types of tension, internal and external. Internal obviously is within a relationship and external is between couples and community.
Autonomy connection. Autonomy connection is the tension in a relationship that struggles to find the balance between wanting to have a connection relation with an individual but also having the internal desire to separate yourself by expressing your own uniqueness. Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I took a test and I don't know if I did very well on it.
Oh my gosh, I took a test today and I totally aced it. I did so good on it. An example of an autonomy connection can be seen in the video of two girls talking. The girl in the hat seems to desire a connection with her friend by asking about her day, but struggles with wanting to express her own individualism by cutting her friend off to talk about her own test grades instead of listening to her friend talk.
Predictability, novelty. This is between two people that have a relationship with each other and have the want and desire to be spontaneous while also having steadiness in a relationship.
I love watching Netflix on the weekend and just getting stuff done. It's so nice. You know what? We do this every weekend. I want to go on a road trip. Yeah?
In this video, both roommates stay at home and watch Netflix while also studying for the next school week, and it starts to become a predictable pattern that they both share. But they may want to try something different one weekend, like taking a mini road trip. Either way, the next weekend after the road trip, they continue with the same routine of staying in the comfort of their own home.
The next type of internal tension we have is open-closed. So this is when there's an internal struggle about keeping intimate things to yourself or talking to others about this. It's the struggle between wanting to open up and self-disclose while also wanting to maintain one's privacy. And according to globaloup.com, the open-closed dialect is the internal struggle between expression and privacy. An example of this would be someone thinking about whether or not they should tell their friends something that is going on in their life. This is an open-closed struggle because they are struggling between wanting to open up to their friends or maintain their privacy and keep it to themselves.
Inclusion-seclusion is the tension within a relationship that struggles to balance the amount of time a partnership is spent with the outside community, inclusion, and the amount of time spent only with one another, seclusion. An example of inclusion-seclusion is when a married couple loves spending time with one another but thinks it's important to have community outside their own relationship. So they get involved in a local organization or church to balance their time spent together in an outside environment.
Conventional, unique. When partners in a relationship want to display themselves as a traditional couple that does what's expected of them, or a couple who does what they want and doesn't follow society's expectations. On the left side of the screen is a screenshot of a conversation between a couple. The girl asks her boyfriend if she should go with him to travel the country, and he lets her know that it would be a fun experience and they can easily start college the next year. This is an example of the couple being unique by not going to college directly after high school. On the right side, instead of saying yes, Dylan says he changed his mind and is going to college so he wouldn't hurt his parents, which shows how Dylan is going the conventional way after high school.
The next type of external tension we have is reveal, conceal. And this is whether we want to reveal we're in a relationship or keep that secret. And according to communication theories in action, we want to reveal a relationship because that is a standard routine to acceptance and approval. However, others can offer unsolicited and unwanted advice, make judgments of our partners or patterns in our relationships, and otherwise butt into what we regard as a private relationship. Similar to the open-closed tension, this is a public-private issue and is a struggle between wanting to share things or keep that a secret. And so an example of this would be someone thinking, should I tell my family about my boyfriend that I have, or should I keep him a secret? This is an example because she's wanting to make things public or keep it a secret to herself.
Selection. When dealing with attention in a relationship, selection refers to only responding to one need or problem now and not dealing with the other. Hey, so the dishes haven't been done in a while, and I was wondering, when you get a chance, will you go do the dishes, please?
Yeah, let me just finish this and I'll do it right now.
Okay, thanks. Hey, so I saw you did the dishes, but you only washed your dishes and nobody else's.
Oh, you didn't really specify, so I just washed whatever I used.
Oh. An example of selection can be seen in the video when a person asks one of their roommates to do the dishes. In return, your roommate only washes their own dishes and nobody else's dishes, leaving the job of doing the dishes incomplete.
Spiral alteration. This is when you put one need in front of the other, then going back to that need later. You can also go back and forth from one need to another, then back to the other.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm so busy. I have 4 homework assignments due tonight, 3 tests next week, a presentation, and a paper. And honestly, I think I'm going to start doing my homework right now so I can get that done before anything else. And then do everything as it comes along.
Yeah. Wow. You have a plan then.
In this video, someone asked their friend how she was doing, and the friend responds by saying how stressed she was with all the assignments and homework she had due. So she decides to put one homework assignment in front of the other and then come back to the other assignments as soon as she can.
The next method we have is segmentation, and this is when some activities address one need and other activities address another need. So it's compartmentalizing the relationship, so one issue coincides with one pull or need and the other one with another pull or need. And according to businesstopia.net, it can be hectic for individuals to deal with all the tensions at once. So through segmentation, they can choose to deal with one side of the tension at a time.
Hey, I know the meeting's about to get started, but I have a personal issue about some boy drama I want to talk to you about.
Right now, it's going to be a really, really serious meeting, so maybe we can talk afterwards. Does that sound good?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So this is an example of segmentation because she is choosing to compartmentalize. So she's dealing with her meeting right now and choosing to focus on this girl's boy drama at a different time.
Integration. This is when two ideas from the dialectical theory come into place: the predictability and novelty concepts. When something such as a meeting or hangout happens consistently, this shows predictability. But every time the group meets up, the activities or projects to be done are different each time. This is novelty. In this example, the president of the BIKE club is informing the members of the club of the upcoming weekly meeting and letting them know to expect a different activity than anything they've done before. This shows the predictability in the meeting times and novelty by doing different activities each time.
And these are our sources. Thank you so much for watching.